Okay, is Flair Air looking to expand with the recent closure of Lynx Airlines? Here's travel expert Claire Newell, who joins us with the details. Claire, good morning to you. The head of Flair hoping to bid on some of the Lynx fleet, we're hearing. What do we know about this, and how might this bolster Flair's growth and maybe impact travel for Canadians?
Yeah, this is interesting. Flair Airlines has actually had to make a filing in an Edmonton court to be added to the list of companies that are allowed to bid on the assets. And part of the list of assets is 9 Boeing 737 MAX 8s. And that's important because Flair's fleet is primarily made up of that type of aircraft. And because we chatted last week about the fact that a lot of airlines are waiting for 737 MAX 8s, they're late on delivery and they're hard to get. Flair, if they want to grow, would like some of these aircraft. Not all of them, they've said, but some of them. The question, though, that many people in the industry are wondering is if Flair is financially stable enough to actually take over some of these leases. And we chatted just weeks ago, probably 8 weeks ago, about the fact that Flair has a big bill owing to the Canadian government, about $67 million that they owe in import duties to bring in some Boeing aircraft that they're still paying off. And the lease payments have gone up. So when Lynx would have put their lease back 4 years ago, it would have been about $350,000 a month to lease one of these aircraft. If they renegotiate, Flair would have to pay about $540,000 a month. So we'll wait to see if they take on any of these leases. But that's the big question. Are they financially stable enough to do that?
And speaking of finances, as Flair looks to purchase some Boeing jets, a new billion-dollar lawsuit has just been launched against the plane maker. What do we know about this legal action? Yeah,
and like you said, $1 billion. So 3 people in Oregon have put in a filing, and in the filing, it's basically they're claiming mental, I want to make sure I have this right, mental, emotional, psychological injuries, as well as physical injuries and traumatic stress. And I'm not downplaying what they have gone through. It would have been hellish, quite frankly. But this is not the only case. A class action lawsuit was launched in January, and same type of verbiage against both Alaska and Boeing, basically placing profits above safety. But $1 billion compared to what Alaska Airlines initially offered these 174 passengers, which was, do you remember, a full refund and $1,500. So where this all settles, somewhere in between, we'll wait to see.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've seen that video. We've all seen that video. My reaction is the same every time.
But it's not
mouth open.
But Claire, it's not even the second lawsuit. These 3 passengers. It's not even the passengers who were in that row where the door jamb opened. It's not even the 15-year-old and his mother. He's the one who lost his shirt. They were in that row. They're not part of this $1 billion lawsuit.
No, it's 3 other passengers. So they would be part of the class action lawsuit. But yeah, they're not even part of these 3.
Yeah, I got to say, no matter what row you're in, if you experience that, that's pretty traumatic, though.
Yes.
Video. All right, well, speaking of traumatic, some really scary video from Vancouver Airport we want to ask you about this morning, Claire, as a recent Air Canada flight was struck by lightning. Just how rare is this, and are there safety concerns when this happens to a flight?
So it's one of the coolest images I've ever seen, but also really freaky. But Air Canada has come out, and I've known this, that aircraft are built to withstand these huge bolts of electricity. This aircraft was flying from Vancouver to London. It landed safely, but it was confirmed that the aircraft had been struck. Now, I asked someone from Air Canada, how would they even know? And it's usually a big black mark on the side of the aircraft somewhere, but it's still unclear whether the passengers and crew knew that they were struck by lightning at that exact moment.
Wow. And that would deboarding and looking to see a black mark on the plane. I'd be like, oh, wow. Okay, we want to ask you about this. We were talking about this at the top of the show. Southwest Airlines unveiling their new seat design for 2025. Some people going, I don't know. I don't know about this. I don't know if it's as good as you say it is.
So people are going crazy about this online, calling them lawn chairs, like the granite, pool recliners. But I can tell you, I think we should give them a break and actually test this. they would have done their research. They're saying 18 months they researched for the testing of the comfort of these. They're multi-adjustable now. And as you mentioned off the top, they are adding some extra features. The personal electronic device holder, the dual cup holders, in-seat power, which in my opinion is really great. There you're seeing the personal electronic device holder, which I think is really handy because there's nothing worse than having to hold it in your hand the entire flight if you are watching a movie or a show. Mm-hmm. My favorite is that they're adding bigger bins for more carry-on luggage. So that's probably the best part. So I say let's test it.
Oh, you know what? A round of applause, if you will, for that, for the bigger carry-on bins, for sure. And that's got to be one of the coolest jobs, seat tester. That's right up there, I think, with bed tester. You know, just anything where I got to test the comfort of something, count me in. That sounds like a good job. All right, Claire, we got to leave it there. Thank you so much. Good to see you this morning.
Good to see you.